Welcome everyone in the premium gang. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday afternoon. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to jump on the live stream. I'm on about a minute early here. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. I know it's hot and humid here in Atlanta. Says at least one of you are here with me right now. So I've got your comments there. Hopefully very soon I'm going to have a second monitor, somewhat professional, right? Grayson was kind of giving me some tips last night, and he said, "You don't happen to have a flat screen TV, laying around your house, do you? HDMI compatible?" And I'm like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. We've got like either a 27 or a 32 inch that we don't use." And he's like, "Yeah, you could use that as a second monitor and have some stuff on one screen and some stuff on the other." So we might get that set up here in the next day or so. I'll have my 14-year-old, who's the technology whiz in the house. Grayson's obviously the technology whiz overall, but my 14-year-old, if he can get it all set up for me, which it won't be hard, it's just basically plug and adjust some settings, I'll have a second monitor. So anyway, watching ES right now. Okay, trying to make a little pop to the upside here. Nothing definite unless it gets up and takes this stuff out up here. Okay, so as you can see, here was the move we've had today. In fact, let me find, right here was opening price. Let me do this, make it easier for everyone. Oh, I went too big. Sorry about that. Squeeze it in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so was it this one? This one. Okay, this was opening price at 309875. So I can draw that in. I've basically been mostly on my Trade-Evate platform today. That's why I don't have this drawn in. So let me draw it in. Make my adjustments. Edit. 75. 75. Dash. Purple. Okay, so it's getting up to these wicks right now. So what we're going to see is, is it able to get through them and continue higher, or does it get up there and start to reject back down again? It's been up to this level twice, obviously here, and was not able to get through. So now we're going to see, is it able to get through this time? Just trying to watch it here. So somebody else has joined us, so whoever that is, welcome. So obviously, other than this range right here, the majority of the move has been from way back here, strength, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then we kind of got into this range right through here. Okay, so that was this morning, and then we were waiting for a break up or down. Well, we obviously got the break to the upside. Okay, and we went up to our resistance level at 3112, okay, right in here. And then we sort of kind of had a battle here for quite a while. So back on this candle, back on this candle, I was posting in the room that for more downside, bears needed to get below and hold this. So they got below, they couldn't hold it. They got below, they closed, but then immediately bulls pushed it right back up. Bears tried to push it down, bulls pushed it right back up. So as of right now, it looks like we still have strength to the upside, especially if we take out the top of this, which they're close to doing right now. 31.1750 has been the high of the day. And then let's peel this back just a little bit. Okay. Right up here is the top of the expanding range, right? So we're getting back close to it again. But the market's been showing quite a bit of strength here. I got some friends, some trading friends. Some of them run rooms, and we've been kind of laughing to each other about like all the strength that the market keeps showing. Like literally, there's absolutely no reason that the market should be showing strength. I mean, just from a realistic reality standpoint, there is no reason the market should be showing strength. You know, I've said it, you know, probably 50 times in some of these private live streams. We are just so artificially propped up. I mean, I feel bad for, you know, when the bubble burst, because it will burst at some point, because there's going to be a lot of people that are trapped in like longer term investments, swing trades, things like that. And it'll be pretty vicious, I think, when it finally sets in. But for now, right? For now, the Fed, big money, you know, hedge funds, all these people out there, retail, right? Even retail. I've seen people run polls on sentiment. You know, where do you think we're going to be come summertime? And you know, they would say above 3,400 or below 3,000. And like overwhelmingly, traders were saying like over 3,400, which obviously would be all-time highs. You know, so, you know, if you've got enough people that want to push in one direction, that's all it takes, right? We talk about that all the time. That's all it takes is group mentality, group psychology, to make price go one direction or the other. And right now, everybody, when I say everybody, right, the majority keeps pushing up. And obviously the Fed has been doing everything it can to keep the economy as strong as it can. But remember, the economy is not strong. The market is strong. They're two totally different things, right? We know the economy is in shambles, but everybody just puts their blinders on, you know, from a market perspective, and says, "Oh, okay, you know, as long as we can keep seeing." You know, let me squeeze it back in again. Right? As long as, and this is not the bottom of the expanding range, remember, this was just a trend line. So like if we would start to get any kind of downside movement, when it would get here, just like right there the other day, I would expect to see some sort of reaction. But just keep coming back, you know, and as long as you keep seeing this upside movement, you know, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. There's enough people that are willing to bury their head in the sand and think, hey, everything's great, right? It has to be, right? The market is strong. The market is moving up. Unfortunately, that is, you know, not the way of the world. You know? So anyway. Okay, let me put an alert right up here in case it starts going again. And I've already got an alert down here. This is kind of this level here is if it turns around and breaks through there, and we may be putting in a double top right here. Who knows? Okay, who knows? But this was kind of a level. I've had this on here since this morning. I felt like if we really got down here and took this out, you know, we'd probably at least get back to the 20, if not, you know, clear down around this 30.95 area, because this is really like a level of structure, this range here. So the top of it is just below here. So if for any reason we started moving this way and we broke through there, look at how this is lined up. That's why I was saying earlier today that if we really started, you know, moving this direction, it could really go, because look at this. Other than this wick right here, and it's at 30.95, other than that wick, man, that's like a perfect setup for a huge drop. Right? So that's something we just have to keep our eyes on, right? We don't know that it's going to happen right now. It may not happen today. It could be, you know, a couple days from now. You know, we could move higher, come back up here and test this, and then eventually we start moving back down into this area, and then we get a big drop. Or it could happen today or tonight or tomorrow. So we just have to always be aware of our surroundings, right? So to the top, we know we have the top of the expanding range. To the downside, if we take this out, okay, we know that, man, there's a really good chance we could kind of get down into here. Okay, or lower, right? Maybe even down into this level. I would think if it got here, it would probably see some sort of a bounce first before trying to go even lower. And let's look. Let me go to a 1 hour. Yeah, here's our expanding range. All right, so here, okay, here's our expanding range, right? Down here, way down here is the bottom. Okay, we're not going down there anytime in the next day or so, right? Unless it was an utter collapse. Then this is the trend line that started forming right through here. You could probably even draw it back to there. See that? Let me see. I can extend it to the left. Okay. Almost. Okay. That's why I think I picked it right here, because you see how many touches we've got through there? Then it started bouncing back up like it was trying to get back up to here. Okay. Or, you know, you can come up through here and then come back down and then bounce. But right now, look at this strength right through here. It's amazing. I mean, it is literally amazing that we're seeing this kind of strength in the environment that our economy is in right now. All right. Excuse me if you can hear me slurping my cola, which I don't drink much soda, pop, however you say it. I always say pop. I'm from Ohio. Funny thing is, I know, you know, everybody's from all over the country, and we've even got people from all over the world. One time, I was just out of college. I think it was in my early 20s, and some friends of mine. We went to Baltimore. Now, I grew up in Northeast Ohio, okay, near Youngstown, Ohio, about an hour southeast of Cleveland and about an hour and a half west of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's where I grew up. Well, we always said pop, right? That's all we ever knew. And, you know, down in the South, most people say Coke, right? If they want a cola, do you have a Coke? But on the East Coast, they say soda. So we were in Baltimore on a trip, me and 3 other friends, and I'll never forget this. We were in a Pizza Hut, and we're having pizza, and the waitress came to take our order, and she said, "Can I get you guys anything to drink?" And we said, "What kind of pop do you have?" And she looked at us like we had 2 heads. She's like, "Pop?" She's like, "You mean soda?" My one friend was like, I don't care what you call it. I want the largest soda allowed by Maryland state law. He's like, whatever you call it, get that for me. And anyway, it was pretty funny because obviously, depending on where you're at in the country, you're going to call your fountain drinks or whatever you call them differently. So I've always called it pop. Some people call it soda. Down here in the South, where I've lived for over 15 years, they call it Coke. Right? They just say, if they want cola, they say, "Get me a Coke." So anyway, I digress. Let's look and see how. Let's look at some of the watch list names and see how they're doing. We've got alerts set. Let me go to the daily. And then we know Amazon was one. Okay, Amazon trigger would have been at 2473.55, and it's been as high as 2485.61. So that's over $12 to the good. So $12 move on Amazon. $12 is like a few dollars on something else. Okay, let's look at Big, BIG. Oh, Big, that's nice. Okay, so we would have had our trigger at 3809, and it's been as high as 3914, so over $1 on Big. Gap and Go, CGC. I'm interested in CGC. They had good news, then they had bad news, then they had bad earnings. Let's look at their earnings down here. The estimate was that they were going to be negative 26 cents, and they were negative $2.70. Brutal, right? So right here was the day that the earnings came out, and then they dropped. But then today they're moving back up. Now the trigger wouldn't have been until up here, so you wouldn't have caught a whole lot there. Trigger would have been 95. Yeah, it's only like 6 cents above the trigger. But over here, they had good news. Something to do with in Canada, good things for cannabis in the country of Canada. And so that's why you saw this strength. Then the big drop, okay, huge negative earnings, and now trying to catch its footing. So that's CGC. Codex, CODX. We're not going to go through all of them. We'll just go through a few. Okay, now Codex has really been in consolidation mode. Look at this. Okay, if I draw it, okay, sort of like this. Look at that. Look how it's been consolidating now for about 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.5 weeks after this big run up, comes back down, and now it's consolidating. Okay, but it's looking like pretty soon could see a move one way or the other. I'm going to leave that triangle on there, that wedge, because that could be something for the future. Let's look at Stitch Fix. The other day, I think we did we miss one the other day? I can't remember. All right, but anyway, Stitch Fix, okay, opened here. Looks like it came down and then came back up and then has settled in. Actually, it opened up here. So I don't know that we would have had a ton of upside, about 50 cents it looks like of upside. Then it came back down and now it's come back up. All right, so that's Stitch Fix. Just pick one out. Let's look at Crowd. Crowd had upgrades today. So let's see if it made any difference. There was like a ton. There was like 10 different firms that upgraded Crowd today. And look, it's in a doji. It's been up and down. Now it gapped up, right? So any of this move would have been considered a trigger. So the trigger was at 99.98, just say $100, and it was as high as 103.80. So there's $3.80 to the good, and it's also been down, right? So Kelsey, I was talking with her in the room. She was asking me what a momentum, a change of momentum trade is, like when you're scalping. It's when you have one candle, and it's typically a higher time frame, like no smaller than a 15. I really like them 30 and above, but it's where you get a strong move one direction and it comes all the way back down through and takes out the opening price and goes the other way. So it can go this way first and then come back through. And what you're playing is you're playing that the momentum has totally changed, right? So somebody could have played this to the upside and then tried to take it to the downside as well, and it would have been a similar move both ways. Because right now we're just sitting in a doji. All right, so crowd. And the funny thing is, right, they get all those upgrades, and this is a big candle. Look, it's bigger than any candle on the screen, except for maybe this one. So that is a pretty big candle for crowd. But with all those upgrades, you always got to be careful. Okay, big money knows they're coming, right? So they're not going to let it probably go too far before they bring it back against retail. All right, so that was crowd. Let's see here. Let's look at AMD. I'm just picking out some at random. Let's look at AMD. Okay, nothing. Right, here's our candle. So we've got nothing. It's a hammer. So really, the market has been showing strength. AMD didn't follow through, right? You would think with the market showing strength, you could have seen some follow through right there. Didn't get that with AMD. Facebook, IBB. Let's look at IBB. I know a buddy of mine trades IBB quite a bit. Okay, it's an ETF. And same thing. Look at this. Hammer off of the 20 with no follow through, even with the market showing strength. Look, the market's up $39. No follow through on IBB. Wow. Looks like the tomfoolery and chicanery is out in force today. It has been a very, very difficult day to trade. Talked a little bit about that in the premium room. Nothing here because this is where the open was. You would have had to go that way, and it's actually went this way. So that's Intel. Man, this is really, really odd to see all these names with hammers not showing any follow through. Microsoft, let's look at Microsoft. Right, you would think some of them would be showing some strength. Okay, now here it came down, bounced off the 20, and it's really right up at the top of the hammer now. But it's getting late in the day, right? So Kelsey's asked me about this before in the room. How late in the day do you still take a daily signal? Once we get this kind of around this time of the day, 2:30, 2 o'clock, you're starting to get later in the day to use a daily signal. Now, that's not to say that this thing couldn't just explode. It could, right? And then you'd probably be looking at a target of over in here. But I would be very careful. Okay, ES looks like it's trying to pop. Let's come back over here. Let's go back to the 30-minute. Okay, it is trying. Let me take a look at something here. Yeah, I've got one I got to get out of here. I forgot all about that. Okay, I am out. And let's see here. What are we on? Let's go to the 30. Let's go here. And why are we not? Let me see here. There we go. Now they're filling in. Okay, so we're at 31.17. I don't know why my screen is freezing. We'll reload everything. All right. What did I say? 31, almost 31.18. So that's that one right there. Let's look at something here. Order. Positions, nothing. Orders. Buy. Oh. Well, now gotta come back over here. Now we're going to see, do we get any follow through to the upside? Okay, looking for a long here. And we'll see, do we get any? We'll kind of watch. Let's go to the 4 hour. Come over here. We want to see what are the potential obstacles, because they would be over here. Okay, here's price. Okay, it's this wick, which goes up to 21.50, and then this wick, which goes up to 31. All right, so our first obstacle is this wick. It goes up to 21.50. So we'll see if we can get any follow through to the upside, knowing that 21.50 would be an obstacle. So what I want to do is I'm going to set an alert at 21. And we'll see if it gets up there. Okay. All right, so let's make this bigger. So I've got my alert here because we know the top of that wick that's to the left is at 21.50. Now if we break that, the top of the next wick is at 31. So we're gonna watch and see, can we get any follow through to the upside? Okay, we've had strength all day, pulls back. Now it looks like it's trying to pop higher, but we have a wick over there to the left. So we just have to pay attention here and see if we get any upside movement. So we'll watch this here. It says we got a couple in here. We've had, I've noticed there's been some people in and out as well. Already been on for about a half hour. And this is the 30-minute I'm on, and the candle has only got about a minute 40 seconds to go. So we'll see if we get any kind of continuation. If it looks like it's going to stall out or whatever, I'll probably just exit the position. That one you see me just exit out of was a total error on my part. I'd actually put a trade on way back earlier when I was stopping this morning. That's how long that's been on, and totally forgot. Totally forgot about it. And obviously, it was to the downside. It was to the downside. And so I just flipped over to the trading platform and saw that it was heavily in the red because obviously we've got a pop. Okay, so now we're looking to see, are we going to get any follow through here? We've got 30 seconds on this candle. And the start of the next candle should tell us something. If we start to see, you know, it doesn't matter if it pulls back a little bit and then goes, or if it just starts to waffle back and forth, that could mean that it's going to end up being a resting candle. Or obviously in the best case scenario, it'll change and it'll just start to go. Obviously 31.1850 right here's the top. So we have to take that out. Right here is the start of the new candle. So you guys are watching it with me live. I don't know what it is about this office in here. The whole rest of our house is like ice cold with the air conditioning, but it is always hot in here. I'm like literally sweating. It's hot in this room. It's like, for some reason, I don't know if the vent doesn't like get the air in here the way it should, but anyway. Okay, so far, not a whole lot of reaction one way or the other. Right here, this is what we're watching. I was actually expecting one or the other. I was actually expecting it to maybe pull back a little bit and then maybe try to go higher, or like an immediate ramp. And we didn't really get either one of them, which may, like if this continues, it may mean that this ends up being a resting candle. All right, because we had a decent sized green, right? If you look at all the candles on here, this one and this one are the two biggest ones, and then look to see what comes after it. See that? All right, now here's a little bit of a pullback. I don't want it to go too far. Okay, so if it pulls back and then turns around and goes back green, that's a good sign. If it just keeps going red, that's not a good sign. 1575. Get back over to it. You know, look how quickly it's dropping because this is an expiry day. Let's make this bigger on this screen. Get it right here where everybody can see it. Okay, now it's starting to move back up the other direction. Like I said, that could be a good sign. A little bit of a pullback. Okay, when you had a big green candle, the next candle when it starts, sometimes if you get a little bit of a pullback and then it goes green, sometimes that's a good sign, because that could just be a few people taking some profits off from this candle here, and then everybody else regains strength and then they push higher again. And we are getting later in the day, right? We're getting, it's just after 2:30, so obviously action should be picking up one way or the other, you know, up or down. Okay, but right now we're just not getting a whole lot of movement. You see when it's stagnant, look down here. Okay? When it's stagnant on expiry day, late in the day, it's going to eat the premium, right? I need it to pop. I need it to go. Okay, starting to go green. See how quickly it's changing down here. Let me come back over here real quick. Okay, so we're right up to the top of this candle. Let's see if we can pop through. We got to get above 31.1850. And then 31.2150 is the top of that candle to the left. That wick to the left. So we're all the way back to break even. Okay, now -5. Okay, if you look up here, looks like there's going to be a wall right there. So if we do get some upside movement, we get up in here, I'm going to have to watch it. That could be manipulation. We've talked about it before, or it could be an actual wall, right? See that one? That means there's over 1,000 orders sitting there right now. And that could be trying to dissuade anybody from going long. Again, how that works is somebody places a whole bunch of orders at a certain level. They want people to get up to it and then turn around and think, oh, there's no sense in trying to go any higher because we're not going to get through this. And then they just pull all the orders, right? So in theory, they want it to go higher, right? But they want, excuse me, they want it to go lower, right? They're putting them there because they want price to turn around and go lower. But we'll see what happens if it gets up there. Okay, this is the top, right? Actually, I take it back. It poked its head up to here because that's what this green line means. This green line is high of the session. High of the session. So you guys are watching this with me. Let's see. I'd like to see it get up in here just to see if this number starts to change or not. It's also one of these deals too. I've noticed this a lot. Let's say it gets up here and it chews through that number or it disappears. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes when you have a great big number like that and they get up to it and they eat it up or it just disappears, then price pops. Because now what people thought was something that was in the way, okay, here we go, we're almost up to it. Now let's see what happens, right? We know there's like 1,000 orders there. Look how quickly it dropped. Okay, can it keep going? Can it keep going? Now we know if it gets through 2150, right? That's the top of that wick to the left. Then the next obstacle is up around 31. Okay, now see they're building again. So you saw what I mean. There was over 1,000 orders at that level and it got right up to it and they either disappeared or they chewed through them, but we didn't get the pop I was hoping for. I was hoping to see if that number disappeared that price would just spike. Let's see if they make another run at it or not. See how they're trying to build it out right through here? Okay, now those are not huge because we're close to the end of the day. End of the day, we get more active. Same thing if this was early in the day. You know, 2s and 3s are not huge. When you start talking about 5, 6, 7s, 8s, 1,000, okay, those are ones that you're going to pay more attention to, just like we paid attention to that one. But you saw, once we got up to it, it didn't take them very long to get through it. Now, was that somebody pulling orders? It could have been. All right, so now even though we've moved positively, right, and I think the highest I was up was like 27.50 or something like that. We're still up, right? I'm still up. Price is going my direction, but look, I'm only $2.50 in profit because I'm battling premium burn right now. I need to see a move, a good quick move. If we got a good quick spike up, maybe, you know, $10 or something, that's what I need. Okay, things have sort of settled in for the moment. Okay. There's 21, and we know 21.50 is where the top of that wick is. So now I'm watching this to see, okay, is this just going to turn into a resting candle? I mean, if it is, I probably will just get out because the premium burn will just continue because the closer we get to the end of the day, the more it burns. I'm just hoping to see another spike. So if we would get through this area here, this is the top of the wick of that candle. And then after that, there'd be some space, and we know the top of the other wick is at 31. That's why I'm saying if we got through there, if you got a nice, you know, $5, $6, $8, $10 spike, that's how you can make some money with some options. If not, I'm probably going to either break even or even lose a little bit. You see, I'm still only $2.50 up, even though price has moved in our direction. Okay, see that? See that drop? That's premium burn. Price actually went up and my profit went down. Okay, we were down here and it spiked up here. And when it spiked up, we actually went down because it's burning. The premium's burning. It's a tough decision here because I think we're falling into a resting candle. We're not quite halfway in yet. They've got a little build out right in through here. And what I mean by a build out is you got like 3 levels where the numbers are decent. Okay, they're not huge, but they're decent, and you've got them at multiple levels. Okay, so kind of see how this is triangling this way. I'd like to see it make at least one more run up here fairly soon. Okay, it's trying a little bit. There's 19. 20 is where it starts. Then it kind of goes back down a little bit. But you can see, like literally for half an hour, it could just go back and forth right here. And if that happens, this number will start to go against me. Okay, we got a minute and a half until the 15-minute candle changes. We might see if we get any reaction there, and if we don't, I might just exit. See this? This goes back and forth, back and forth. Okay, we gonna make a run or not? It's got to get up here before we know. Yeah, let's see, we've got about 30 seconds until the 15-minute candle changes. Okay, it's trying. And it pushed it back down. So it got right up in here, pushed it back down. About 10 seconds. Let's see on this 15-minute candle flip if it makes another run at this area right in here. Okay, a little bit to the green side. Okay, the candle flipped. So let's see, we're going to get any kind of run at trying to get through this. Okay, it's pushing up a little bit, right? It's right here. This is what we have to test. Right in here. Okay, all this down here, it's just chop. Pretty equal right in here. Okay, and we're getting closer. It's just wait, wait, wait. It's right up to it. All right, it gets right up to it. Again, these are the 3 levels that we have to get into to see if it's got a chance at popping higher. We don't have to worry about the top of the wick right now. If you can't get through this, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter that that's the top of the wick. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. It's trying. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Okay, it's trying to push it back down again. And you see they're trying to fill back in. So I hope you guys noticed that. So it took out this level, struggled right here, right? And it was just kind of dancing back and forth. But then as it started to drop, it started to quickly fill these levels back in. Also, this number's starting to grow. That was not a very big number, right? It was these 3. It was these 3. This was not a very big number. Now it's starting to grow. Sometimes you can just get sucked in, right? You get sucked in because you know what the upside is if it can pop through here, but you can also look right here. Now it's starting to build down here too, though. which is not necessarily a good thing, right? Because if they're equal, price isn't going to go anywhere. It's just going to keep bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we're already only almost 20 minutes into this candle, and you can see we're not making any headway. That's why I said it more than likely was going to probably end up as a resting candle. Here was the last big green candle. What happened next? A resting candle. The only thing I was trying to look at was we were getting later in the day, so you may get more participation. And if buyers are giddy, right, maybe, okay, they just were able to withstand that and start back up, you know, do they really want to make a push here late in the day? As of right now, the answer is no. Okay, look at that. So we dropped from 15 down to negative 250, just like that. Okay, because the burn is coming in again. When we got up in here, if you notice, as high as this ever got was like 1750. Okay, you're battling premium burn. Let's see here. Okay, like there is your certain exit price. And I got in at 65. Okay, so that wouldn't be too much of a loss. I can still see it. I don't know if you guys can or not. Right here in the shaded area. These numbers have sort of leveled out. Okay, this one's 300, but the rest of these are kind of in the twos. That's not so bad. Remember, we had those three levels that were all in the threes. Okay, let's see if it makes another move. Looks like it's trying. And come back over here. Just see it better over here, but over there is where I actually have to take the trade. And it pushes it right back down. See that? Went up to like 19, pushed it right back down to 18. Let's climb it again. It's up to 19. 1925. All right. Are we making a move? So those of you watching, you can see how easy it is, and what I mean by easy, to get sucked into not getting out of a position, right? Because it goes up, and it comes back down. It goes up, comes back down. And just enough to try to keep you in. 1925, 1950. That's the first time we've seen that in a while. 1950. 3121. Let me get back over here. Where did we get in 365? So let me put a 4. Come on, let's see a pop here. Let's see a pop. 2150 was the top of that wick to the left. Okay, we're making a move. Come on. We know that we've got some upside. It's at 2075, 312075. We're so close, right? See that? Every time it gets up to 75, it pops back down. There is 25. There's 50. And pops back down. Okay, I can see here they're trying to build out right around 21, and also the number is growing at 2150, which is the top of that wick. So this is the kind of deal, is if it's going to break through, it's going to break through and it's just going to pop. It's just going to go because they're fighting it so hard. If the buyers were able to overwhelm the sellers, it would pop. But right now they've got yeah, it's decent. Again, it's not insurmountable. Like if all of a sudden a rush of aggressive buyers would come into the market, it could pop. But do they have enough oomph left after they've just been driving price up and driving price up? I like to watch it over here just because it's easier to see. We got less than 4 minutes on this candle too. Then we'll be in power hour, which can be both good and bad, right? Because the activity continues to ramp up in terms of the aggressiveness, but the burn gets faster and faster as well. See, right now we're having a hard time even getting through 20. There's 20. 25. 50. There's 50 again. And it pushes us back down. Okay, right there. There's 20, 25, 50. This was as high as we just made it a second ago. And let's see here. Less than 2 minutes. About 1 minute 45 seconds. What I'm doing here is I'm just watching to see, do these numbers change? Do they grow? Do they shrink? Got less than a minute here. see how it's pulling back right now. Okay, so what did I say? Okay, what did I say? I said it was likely, and if at the very beginning we didn't see some big move one way or the other, it was likely this was going to be a resting candle. And in 10 seconds, unless something pops one direction or the other, we're going to have a spinning top. We're going to have a resting candle. Again, all you got to do is look back and see where the other bigger candles were and then what happened right after it. Resting candle, resting candle. Even here, bigger red one, resting candle. Okay, here's the new one. Okay, so it's the same deal. I don't care if it pulls back a little bit and then reverses back up, or if it would just all of a sudden start to shoot up. So we're just watching this right here. So I will tell you that in reality, the best play, as soon as I thought that this was probably going to be a resting candle, would have been just to exit and look for a re-entry if we took out 31.2150. That would have been the better play. Okay, so we got the little pullback. Now it's trying to push up. Let's see here. I don't want to see much red. I want to see this thing start to go green, start to work its way up. Now if it would start to go green and take out the top of this candle, that'd be a very, very positive sign. But right now, okay, right now we're not getting that. We're getting exactly the opposite. Let me go back over here. So if we get down to about, let's see, what is it? 31.15.25. That could mean it's going to go the other way, right? Because up to a spinning top, strong move, strength, strength. Could see a fade. But obviously we're hoping that it's going to turn around and pop to the upside here. So again, the glamorous life of day trading and scalping, right? There's a lot more waiting around and patience than what people think. But what I should have done, and I'm just telling you, I'm telling the premium members that watch this video, is as soon as I thought this was going to be a resting candle, I should have got out right around break even, and then had an alert set for taking out 31.2150, which I know is the wick over to the left, because if we take that out, we would likely see a pop to the upside. Right now, we're just kind of strangled and premium is burning against me. So I'm going to let you guys go because, I mean, there's no sense in just sitting here watching this. We don't know what's going to happen right now. Obviously, got my fingers crossed that we're going to see some sort of a pop. But if we don't, I'm just going to have to get out of the trade and not let the burn just keep eating up the premium, which it's going to continue to do if this thing doesn't start to pop to the upside. I mean, in reality, we're back now, kind of where I entered, and I guarantee you I'm down. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm down. So I entered at 365, and this is 255, and it'll go to 260, 265. So even though I'm back like kind of where I entered the trade price wise, like price level wise, down like $50. And that's all because of premium burn. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a good rest of the afternoon. I'll put some updates in the room as we go along, and then get some rest tonight. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Have a great day, Premium Gang. Bye-bye.